and I know we're in a subjective business, but the truth is, I'm really in pursuit of greatness. I know people don't usually talk like that, but I want to be one of the greats. I'm inspired by the greats. I'm inspired by the greats here tonight.
This is Timothy Chalamet, or as I like to call him, Timothy Chalamet. Now, Timothy Chalamet is an actor that a lot of young men nowadays are inspiring to be like, which is all good. We can all have a role model. However, this is a character.
Where my career's at, and amazing movie after amazing movie after amazing movie, but more Josh Safdie. And where he's at, and that we're in service to Josh Safdie, is when I think Heaven Knows What, I think Schwa. When I think Good Time, which obviously came out after, Robert Pattinson, Schwa. When I think Uncut Gems, Adam Sandler, Tiff, Standing Ovation, Schwa. And then when I think Marty Supreme, what happened at the New York Film Festival, right? We can't let this movie down. Like, we have to be
intentional.
That is Marty Supreme. Now, the marketing for this movie has been something else. Great marketing. It got so many heads into the theaters. I think for more movies going into 2026, if we have marketing like Marty Supreme, we will have great traction and great movies to watch. Now, what's the difference between this character and this actual real life person of Timothy Chalamet? Well, this character is probably one of the most polarizing characters created in 2025. Why? Because he's of that manosphere, hustler, selfish, manly archetype, which I see a lot of people very into. Now, it's all good and dandy, but before we start basing our entire personality off of this fictional character, Marty Mauser Supreme, let's get some of the things right here, okay? This character is the definition of a self-saboteur. You do not see a character that is as good at sabotaging themselves as Marty Mauser. And in this video, we're gonna go through some of the ways that he does sabotage himself, as well as I'll give my 2 cents on the movie. So before we dive into the self-sabotage part of Marty's character, let's first talk about something specific with him, and that's his ambition. See, he has so much ambition that it is amazing to see a character this charismatic with this much ambition. I think it's very charming. A lot of people should be applauding this sort of performance that Timothy Chalamet puts up. But what is ambition without action? Or not exactly what is ambition without action, but what is ambition without the right actions? What if every step you took was in the complete opposite direction? Well, let me tell you, when I watched this movie, the first thing I thought of was that, wow, this Marty Mauser character, he sure has the ambition for a lot of the things he's going for. He's going to this national up and coming sport called table tennis because it's set in the, I believe, the 50s at the time. So it's an up and coming sport, and he's one of the best in the world at this sport. So he has the ambition, he has the drive, and he's got the skill for it. But it's his actions specifically that screw up any chance he has at becoming the best in the world, and his pride and ego as well. And the movie shows you this from the start. The opening credit scene is him having unprotected sex with a married woman who he's actively ignored and put to the side over many of his years growing up. That's the opening scene, is him getting her pregnant. So the movie sets this tone of this man that you see right here, he's not going to be doing anything that's good for himself. To leave to go to this tournament, he's been saving up some money, but he also needs his last check from his uncle who runs the store that he currently works at. But his uncle doesn't want to pay him and he keeps dodging him. Well, what does he do? After his uncle offers him a manager position, he tells a coworker of his that he's getting the new manager position and that he's actually just say that he robbed him at gunpoint, and he held a gun to his coworker and says, I don't care. When I come back, I will be a world champion. So it's like, okay, well, you know what? That's fair. If you believe in yourself that much, you can honestly like get away with getting the money that like you're owed that your uncle doesn't want to pay you because he's specifically trying to hold you back. However, the big thing with this is he has an ego about being one of the best players in the world. So he quote unquote robs his coworker at gunpoint, which I mean quote unquote, he's like, look, I'm literally robbing you with a gun here. Come on, give me the money. Let me just go. This is what I'm owed. You'll be next in line for this manager position. I honestly don't care about working here. And at the same time, his ego is putting him in not the most productive of conversations where he could have probably just talked it out with his coworker to have gotten the money. But instead, he belittles his coworker and says that, look, he's already given me the manager position. You might as well just give me this and then you'll be next in line to get what you want from my uncle. So his ego is already putting him 2 pedestals above someone else and just not really coming from a place of empathy. So he gets his money, he flies on the plane, he goes to this tournament, the tournament in Europe. Now, the first day goes by, that he goes to his living quarters, and then he goes to the tournament. Tournament goes on, he plays, he does great. He does exceptionally well. He's blowing every single person that he goes against out of the water. But he gets back to the tournament organizers and he says, look, I'm at this level that no one else in this tournament is at, and I'm here sleeping with the riffraff at the hotel when I should really be deserving of a better hotel room. And he talks his his way with charisma and charm to convince the organizers, because of how well he's done, all his current prospects at the time. He talks with them and he convinces the hotel. I forget if he convinces the tournament staff or if he convinces the magazine people that are doing the interviews with him. It's one of the two. Maybe it's both. Maybe they're both like connected or something. But nonetheless, he gets his own personal room in luxury. They paid for a luxury room for him because of how well he's doing. Now, his ego is like his Achilles heel of his character. The movie shows you a beautiful actress that he's very much interested in that catches his eye across the lobby. What does he decide to do? He says, well, I'm gonna pursue that married woman, because all the guys that are around him are like, holy crap, it's her. Oh my goodness, I used to watch her movies all the time. And he sees that as someone who is worthy of himself and where he stands. So he tries to flirt with her, and it's sort of working, sort of not. She's not completely denying him, and he's actively trying to seek her out and seduce her. Now, the thing is, this actress, Kay Stone, is also married to another person named Rockwell. Now, Marty knows this and continues to pursue because that is someone he believes he is deserving of. So we see a whole dinner scene. He charges their table. Rockwell's out there at a business dinner at this same hotel because they're staying at the same hotel for completely different reasons, just sheer luck that they run into each other. He's staying at this hotel and he decides to put this whole tab of 7 or 8 people on his hotel tab that he's already dining in with. Now, what does this do? Well, Rockwell's a rich man. Why would he need someone to pay for his dinner? So it gets Rockwell's attention. He comes over and Marty's first words to Rockwell is like a greeting, and he wants his Jewish Polish friend who in World War II was set to defuse bombs as a prisoner at Nazi camps, because it's the story of having absolutely no ego and no pride. The story goes like this. So his friend, he defuses bombs. There's no guards watching him because he's defusing bombs, because it's a dangerous job. So that's why they have prisoners doing it, because it's just such an expendable task. If they make it out, they make it out and come back. Now, when his friend's in this situation, they lather themselves up with honey all over, with honey everywhere. So every time they would defuse a bomb, they'd lather themselves up in honey, get back to their cabin, and then the prisoners, the fellow cabin mates, would lick the honey off of him for nutrients and sustenance. One, it's a selfless thing to do, not guided by self-preservation, which is the complete opposite of Marty's philosophy. And two, it's something that requires you not having an ego about yourself, about having other men lick honey off of you so that they can also live to fight another day, to live a little longer. There's nothing wrong with doing what you can to survive. That's what the message is, especially if it's for a selfless reason. Now, why did Marty want Rockwell to know this? Well, it's simple. Because while this story was going on, he's over there looking across the room at Kay Stone, Rockwell's wife. So this whole story about being selfless and not having an ego about things, he's over here using this as an opportunity to look her straight in the eyes across the room with seductive eyes. That's the whole reason he called him over. That's it. He didn't care a single bit about this guy. He's just trying to seduce his wife. So it's like, yeah, you can see where this is going too, which not the best situation you want to be in, seducing someone who's a partner of one of the richest men in the world at the time, who could probably make your life a living hell in every facet of your life. But yeah, he doesn't really see the story for what it is. And that's how he sees every little thing. He sees it as an opportunity, as a goal to get where he's going. So yeah, he charges all their food on his hotel tab. You can see how that goes. And the tournament progresses the next couple of days. The thing is, on the last day of the tournament, he actually loses. He loses. Why? Because he's not used to a specific foam paddle. Not his fault. The person he's going up against is allowed to use the foam paddle because I believe they were deaf in the movie. So it's like a paddle that there's no sound on the side. So it makes sense. It's an advantage. I don't really know too much about the table tennis sport. So if anyone has the reason on that, please let me know in the comments. So he loses this tournament, and upon losing, he gets so mad that he lost to his opponent that he makes a fool of himself and he throws a trash can around, and like it's a big headline. Like he's like, oh, that's bullshit, yada yada yada. Then with his tarnished image and no remaining prospects, all he has is his table tennis skills and the blessing of his table tennis partner getting him a job with the Globetrotters. The two of them go across the world, and after a while you can see that this has a toll on Marty specifically, and he doesn't like the fact that he's the butt of a joke, and it gets to his ego. So what does he do when he's in this stable position job going around the world making money before next year's tournament when he can prove himself again? Well, he quits, obviously, because it's his ego. His ego is keeping him from doing it. This job is beneath him. So he takes his money and he goes back home. When he goes back home, oh no, now he's not won the tournament. So the consequences for his actions are coming up with his uncle. So his uncle gets the police. And when the uncle gets the police, what does Marty do? His uncle says, all you have to do is come work with me at the shop and forget about table tennis, and this will all be over. I won't make any charges and you'll be good. After his uncle already stole money from Marty that Marty had stole from him originally, technically, but I guess it was technically Marty's money. I don't know. It's kind of weird that his uncle uncle went to steal the money that he said he was gonna pay him. It's like semantics, really. Marty should have gotten that in writing, but it's whatever. He decides, no, that place is beneath me, and he evades his uncle and the cops who are gonna arrest him. And he just goes on this whole entire scam hustle spree again of random things that keep going worse, downhill, 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 downhill. He denies an offer with Rockwell to make money before the tournament, and he does it in a way that makes himself seem superior to Rockwell, and everything that Marty does is superior. And this action has consequences later on, because later Rockwell only does it if Marty does a specific thing for him that demeans him. I don't want to spoil what that is, but it's a pretty good scene. And yeah, he self-sabotages. He's given opportunity, self-sabotages, given opportunity, self-sabotages. He gets a dog he's supposed to take to a vet because the owner is worried about him, and the owner gives him money, and instead of that, he takes the owner's money, ditches the dog somewhere. The girl that you see him getting pregnant in the opening scene comes back and is in an abusive relationship, and she wants him to do something about it and take care of her baby, and he's actively avoiding her too until it's only slightly beneficial for him because he's able to get room and board with another person because of emotional blackmail. And the ping pong scam, he had a ping pong scam too at the beginning of the movie, and it didn't work out because he didn't win the tournament and he didn't market himself right. So yeah, scam after scam after scam. We just see this self-sabotage, scam, self-sabotage, scam, ego, all that. While I'm watching this movie, I'm like, this is depressing. Like, why would anybody, how are people watching this and they're like, oh yeah, I want to be like Marty Supreme. Oh yeah, he's so sick. Oh yeah, dog, all you see in the movie is him take L's. It's dumb. All he is, oh yeah, he's a hustler, all right, but he's a dumb hustler at that. He doesn't make any headway with anything because he's not in it. He's not in it for the love of the game. He's in it for the love of himself. I don't know why people are idolizing this guy. He's just a selfish dude with a charismatic belt. If you're just a charismatic dude, you could do literally anything in a movie that society deems bad, and guys on Twitter will find a way to make you seem cool. And it's not cool. It's not cool at all. Call me a Marty Supreme hater, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Oh man. If you've met someone, if you've had the pleasure of meeting a real life Marty Supreme, you know that people like this are not that pleasant to be around, because they will take at the first corner to screw you over. They will take that corner and they will leave you out to dry. That's why he is not a good redeeming character. You should not be idolizing him or making your whole life a Marty Supreme style life. The only person in this movie who actually came out on top and got what they wanted is Odessa Zion's character, Rachel, who out scams Marty by faking being in an abusive relationship, getting Marty to beat up her husband, and then being on the run with him, because that's the only way Marty will accept her in his whole house and where he's going and all that into his life, is when he finds out that she's actively in trouble. But she wasn't actually in trouble. It was apparently that she was putting makeup on her eye to make it appear that way, so that way Marty would pay attention to her. So hats off to her, honestly, for out scamming him. I was glad when he got out scammed by somebody. And the only reason she scammed him was so that he could take care of his own child, who he kept saying wasn't his, but the timeline matched up perfectly. So with this self-sabotage that knows no bounds, you see it. All the other characters see it. And then they don't believe him. Like his table tennis buddy, Wally, when they pull off a scam together, Marty and him, Marty says he needs the full cut so that way he can fly to Japan, and then he says he'll pay Wally back when he makes his money back in the tournament, and Wally says no you won't, because he knows just how far these antics go and how he doesn't ever actually own up or follow through with his promises, because it never goes according to plan. And this is what happens. You have a big ego, you feel like you're destined for greatness, and you feel like you're gonna achieve these things, but when you're throwing people off to the side and you're not willing to take yourself down at least one peg, just one peg, if you would have had an ounce of being a little bit more humble, then he actually would have gotten like almost everything he wanted. But in this movie, you see that this man is not humble at all. And that is Marty Supreme, a hustler, a scam artist. I sound like J. Jonah Jameson doing like a Spider-Man bit. Like, dang, I feel like a real hater, but it's a fictional character that people are idolizing for the wrong reasons, because he doesn't actually do anything great in the movie. It follows the exact same pace as Uncut Gems. So you know what? It's a well-deserved hate on a character. The movie was great. I'll say the movie was great. It was a good movie. It was fast-paced. It was very fun to watch. It was entertaining. That's what I want for my movies. But no way in no shape am I modeling my life after Marty Supreme. And if you watch this movie and believe that you should model your life after Marty Supreme, please let me know why in the comments, because I need to know what a dog shit opinion is. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Marty Supreme. He's definitely a big self-sabotager. I didn't go through all the self-sabotaging moments because I wanted to leave some of them up for surprise for people who haven't seen the movie. But if you agreed with me, just let me know. And let me know in the comments what your favorite self-sabotaging moment was for Marty Supreme too. Just let me know anything. If you like this movie, if you didn't, if you went and saw Avatar instead when it came out, because I think these two were fighting at the box office for Christmas. So yeah, thank you for watching. Peace.